From their mouths to your ears, this is Gaming on Thrones with Phil, Saul, and Rick.
Thank you for tuning in to Gaming on Thrones, part of the R8ed M Gaming Network. Today is Wednesday, November 26th. I am your host, Phil, and we have a special show for you guys today. We have a surprise guest on the show. And before I introduce him, I want to introduce the normal guys, my other podcast fellas. Saul Cuellar, how are you doing, sir?
Surprise, 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 turkey.
God, every time make me laugh and throw me off. And Rick Lamoureux, how are you today?
I'm doing good, man. Just getting ready for Turkey Day tomorrow. Excited.
Yeah. You going to get even fatter than you already are?
Oh, hopefully.
Yo, we going in!
Oh, we're all getting fat. We're all getting fat. And guest starring today is Mr. Drew Freeman. He is... Can I introduce you first, Drew? Because you have a lot of titles.
Go for it.
Okay. So Mr. Drew Freeman, he's the forefather of the R8ed M Gaming Network. He's also the host of Halo Podcast Evolved and the host of R8ed M for Podcast. And I'm going to question mark here. And host of No Doors or co-host of No Doors? Or?
One of the men responsible for bringing No Doors into this world, unfortunately. I feel like I'm the creator of the atom bomb when I take credit for the No Doors, so I don't really know if I want to, it's a dangerous thing.
I got to tell you, I'm looking forward to some new stuff with you and Alex on that. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we're kicking around some ideas, and it's going to get weird.
Awesome.
I'm sure the holidays are going to bring some more weird.
Awesome.
Let's get weird. Let's get weird.
We love weirdness on this show.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, since you said I'm the surprise guest, I was going to say it's not rape if you yell surprise, but they already yelled surprise, so...
How did Saul know?
Like this guy.
It's because of that certain app on certain phones.
Whoa.
It's unsanctioned. I can't confirm whether or not that's on an iPhone. Someone else is going to have to go find out on their own.
We'll send some guys on that. We'll send some people out. Investigate that.
Top men.
Oh, damn it. I was just going there.
Oh, this show's off to a smashing start. So we do a segment pretty much a lot like yours, Drew, where we do a What You've Been Playing segment as well. So I'll ask you first. Okay. You're the guest here. What have you been trying to play, should I say?
Shit. Well, I'm recently unemployed, so my plowing through new games has ground to a halt. So I've been sticking with that old standby Destiny.
Yeah.
Game of the year.
I really thought, I don't know. Kinda. It's up there. It's back up there. It wasn't as Game of the Year-y for me until I saw the state of a lot of the other games that came after it, and then was like, oh shit, apparently this is where we are this year. Mm-hmm. That's depressing.
Yeah,
it worked day one, which was weird.
Yeah, we're gonna dive all into that here in just a minute.
So I can answer what you've been playing with what I wish I was playing. I wish I was playing GTA 5 because that would be freaking sweet right now.
POV.
I've been playing Halo. I've played a lot of single player Halo, obviously, because what else would you be doing?
Yeah.
We did get a lot of great custom games in the first couple weeks of Halo, and I think everybody's kind of been. We did a good job at Podcast Evolved of being like, hey, shit's broken, so why don't we do this instead? And after a couple weeks of that, we were like, all right, so can we go play the game now? No, it's still broken? All right, cool, I guess not. Never mind. So we have resorted back to linking up in some raids, playing some Destiny, and I've just been looking forlorn at my YouTube channel at all the awesome gameplay of games like Far Cry 4 and GTA 5 and games that I really wish I was playing right now.
Yeah. That was really a depressing What You've Been Playing, Drew.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to set the tone. It can only go up from here, guys.
That's a
we've
good
reached
point.
the bottom. Yeah.
That's good somewhere. I mean, so let's go to Rick, because I know he's excited.
Yes, I have been playing the ass off of the new Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, that also, Which I was playing that.
Man, it's a good time. It really is a good time. They really stepped up their game from obviously the disappointment of Dragon Age 2. And it's all familiar. You're not going to be lost if you've played any other Dragon Age games or any BioWare game for that matter.
Yeah,
so it's all familiar, and it is a lot larger than I expected as far as like the areas you can go into and stuff. It's not it's not necessarily an open world like Skyrim, but it's probably it's a bunch of separate smaller open worlds that you can go into, which is
I feel like that's what The Witcher is going to be.
Yes, that's
I don't think The Witcher is going to be a Skyrim setup, but I think Dragon Age is going to get you ready for The Witcher.
Yeah. And if you added all those smaller small worlds that they put in the game together, it would probably be the size, if not bigger than Skyrim, without the obvious bullshit mountains that you have to go around and everything like that.
They're not invisible walls. They're very visible.
Yeah,
directly in front of you.
Yeah, but it's a good time, man. It's hyping me up for the eventual Mass Effect 4, which is going to come out. It's going to be in the same engine. The game looks great. It's not without its bugs, but I mean, what game isn't? It's still playable. I've only had it crash like twice.
I was going to say, I mean, the success, one or two bugs here and there is like a complete 100% success nowadays.
Yeah,
if the game doesn't crash, you're in good shape.
Yeah, if you fast travel somewhere, there'll be a huge amount of pop-in, but it'll fix itself pretty quick. And the people are all like 10 feet off the ground, and they slide down to the surface where you're at.
Gravity has no power here.
Yeah, but if you just like warp somewhere and close your eyes for 5 seconds and open it, you're good to go. So it's pretty cool, yeah.
With the comparison to other Bethesda games and like how buggy they can be, does it feel more solid than those? Feel a little more put together?
Yes, and I think it's a testament to what they did, because they actually released the full game for review a month ahead of its release for the community. And
that's a good point.
They had no updates for anything for it. They were that confident that the game was good enough. And
Stuck on that, Ubisoft.
Exactly. So they did a good job.
That guy started.
They did a good job because they knew they had to do a good job. Because, like I said, the Dragon Age 2, the ending of Mass Effect 3, people were kind of like, all right, you need to step your game up, guys. And they did. This is a really welcome introduction to their
I'm really
long
glad to hear it.
History of really good story-based games.
Yes, cool. Awesome. So we're going to move on to Saul, sir. What you been playing?
Iron Banner, I played for a whole week. I took a week off of Call of Duty because I had a headache of figuring out how to play that damn game. But so I went back to Destiny. I did my Iron Banner because I had to get a whole bunch of stuff. I had a blast because I love playing Capture or whatever the hell it is. And I got me a scout rifle that's for the Iron Banner. And I got me a hand cannon that is bad as fuck.
Yeah, Timber's Lash is pretty sick.
Yeah, dude. What else? I got one other weapon. I forget what it was. And then I got a new shader, which I thought it would be better, but I'm not really that impressed by the shader.
Which one was it?
The second one. I had the first one, which made it look like everything was bronze, and then I got the other one.
So this is like the golden one or something?
And it just looked like, I was like, all right.
Forth on it.
Yeah. So, other than that, I went back to duty, knocked down my sensitivity from 23 to like 7, and I played a lot better. Staying out.
23?
Oh yeah, it's insane. Everybody's like, how do you play it? It's like, normally
I'm a Halo
I can't.
guy, so like 7 is really fast on Halo, so I don't even know what 23 looks like.
It's insane. But like, I can't go in the middle of the map anymore on duty because you just get killed. It's like shooting in a barrel. So basically what I do now is it's like running track. It's like I run, I stop, shoot, run, but it's in a complete circle every time. But every once in a while I'm like, I gotta go in, because he's right there, or there's a tag right there, because I play a lot of Kill Confirm. And as soon as I go in the middle, dead.
It's dangerous.
So now that you're getting a little better at it, or figuring it out, do you like it a little bit more than what?
Oh, I liked it before. It was just giving me a freaking headache of just getting popped every 10 seconds. Now I can get like 2 to 3 kills, die, 2 to 3 kills, die, 2 to 3 kills, die. I'm happy now.
Yeah.
But yeah, It was just a pain. It's like everybody says, it's like you can be across the map in 2 moves. So now I just run on the sides. Yeah. It's very insane.
Yeah, I got it coming on my GameFly, mainly for the campaign, but I will probably dabble in the multiplayer since I haven't played Call of Duty multiplayer since Modern Warfare 2, so...
Modern Warfare 2 is OP.
Oh, so good.
I haven't played multiplayer since MW2 either. Blops really just destroyed my interest in Call of Duty in general.
Oh, this guy over here, this guy Saul, he loves it.
I just love the kill streaks.
Yeah. Well, that's like Saul always talks about that. And to be honest with you, when I was playing Modern Warfare 2, the kill streaks are what you play for.
Yeah.
So they have to be good, or else it's just okay.
Yeah. This year's not so much, but whatever.
Yeah, it's Call of Duty 4
I
for
was
me.
I was still a big Call of Duty campaign guy by the time Black Ops came around. And also by then I think Black Ops, the original, was around the time Reach came out. Oh. So I was obviously like, no, I'm good. I'm going to play Reach.
Yeah.
And I finally got around to playing the Black Ops campaign, and it was like gouging my eyes out trying to get I was like, this is the dumbest frickin' campaign of anything. Oh, God.
You can't go from like a Halo campaign.
The numbers.
Never played them.
Yeah.
Well, especially Reach. The Reach was so serious.
Yeah,
Like it was a pretty intense campaign compared to the previous ones.
It was like a drama, like reading a drama.
Tonally, Black Ops campaign was just ludicrous.
They had Ice Cube.
Yeah. Well, I prefer Ice Cube over Ludacris anyway. Good point.
That's true. Well, I've actually been playing lots of things. I got Sunset Overdrive instead of Assassin's Creed. Game
How was
5.
that?
It was okay. To be honest with you, man, I put it in. I played it a few times. It looks
fast?
like,
A little fast?
Yeah, but I got used to that actually very quickly, and I was surprised because when I first started, I didn't think I would, and I did.
Wait, did no one else? I don't know what the other guys have. Did no one else try the free weekend of it, or it was free on Saturday?
Yeah,
I was at a wedding getting wasted.
I downloaded it. I never booted it up. I was like, nah, I'm not okay.
It's like, honestly, if someone gave it to me, I would be like, oh, cool, and I'd probably play it every once in a while because it's fun, it's colorful, it's different.
He just told you they did.
I meant like
if someone gave it to me for like 24 hours, I would play it then.
Yeah.
And then Jackie Chan's like, what the fuck?
I don't know. All I'm saying is I'm glad I didn't buy it. It was good. I can see why people were disappointed, but at the same like I felt like if I played it more
that's the thing though. I actually haven't heard a lot of disappointment.
No.
I've heard a lot of people that kind of feel the way I do where they're like, meh. But most people I know that have played it, or most people that have listened to you talk about having played it, are generally happy with it. But I think, so I kind of fall in, if you guys listen to Giant Bomb, I kind of fall in the same crowd as Jeff Gerstmann about it, where it's like, hey, this looks really cool. What else is happening in this game? Because there's not, like, it's just got a really cool gameplay mechanic hook. And other than that, the writing and the, like, if you would have toned down the ridiculousness of the writing and maybe hit the nail on the head like Borderlands 2 did, in my opinion. A lot of people didn't like the humor of Borderlands 2, but I really liked it. If you had some really good writing in a goofy game like that, I think it could have been a little more special.
Yeah, it's like Titanfall.
Yeah, it's a really cool gameplay hook and a really slick presentation.
Give it that much credit.
But yeah, I don't know.
Like here's how I felt about it. I had fun with it, but I don't see myself playing more than 10 to 15 hours of it, just because.
Titanfall. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll wait to talk about Titanfall later. But I jumped back into Destiny, so I've been doing my dailies again, grinding because the DLC's coming.
Yeah.
Drudging through the Halo campaign is awesome, and it's great. And as I was saying to Rick earlier, Halo 4 is like, Halo 4 wowed me again, twice. It's wowed me twice.
Yeah.
It's like a whole new game. And the other Halo campaigns are great. I wish I probably had some more co-op action for them, because I don't know if you got, I know Drew, you remember, but Halo 1 and 2 were very long.
Yeah.
So like you get one mission in and that's like an hour and a half.
Yeah. I was listening to some people talk about, I think it was some of the guys from IGN, but not on an IGN podcast. They were talking about how it's cool that you can kind of jump to whatever chapter, but the chapters are so long that you kind of wish that you could jump to like the checkpoints in the chapter.
Yes.
And they were talking about the playlist. I really enjoy the playlist of like, hey, I'm just gonna use a tank now, and I'm gonna play all the tank stuff, and I'm gonna like play my favorite parts of each game back to back. But if you could have done it in a smaller sequence of that, where you don't have to run through like 30 minutes of not using the tank, just to use the tank for 10 minutes. Yeah, I agree. Parsing it up a little into a little smaller bites.
And it's funny that would even be a complaint, because most of the time it's like, oh my god, this campaign
it's fucking
is
magic
short.
that it works anyways.
Yeah. Let's not put more on it.
Goddamn sorcery.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Anyways, I had to shake that one off. But I've also been playing, I have my 6-hour trial of Dragon Age. I still have like an hour and a half to 2 hours left.
Oh, yeah.
And that game is sick. And
I forgot about that.
I'm on point with Rick, and I agree with pretty much everything he says, because the worlds may not be as open like as a Skyrim, but
okay, though.
You don't feel like you're really bordered in. So that's, like, when you're running around the world, you don't feel like, oh, there's so much more world over there, but I can't get to it because it's just background scenery. Like, it's just not...
I mean, level design, like, smart level design will make any well-put-together world feel natural and not restrictive, and it looks like that's what they've done, because that's the one thing that I've heard about Dragon Age is, like, hey, the story is like, meh, and, you know, it's more Dragon Age, so if you like the gameplay, cool, but the world that you get lost in each of those different areas is apparently just unbelievable. Like, every reviewer I listened to
it's gorgeous.
When that game came out said, I have not even touched half of this game, and I've played it for like 80 hours to review it, and it is insane. That's enticing to me. I'm so ready for that.
Yeah, I'm super pumped. I'm probably going to get it here around for Christmas. Because I've had to save some pennies as well, like most people.
You know, like how your companions in Skyrim would be just like the complete afterthought. Like you'd be walking around for an hour and realize you don't have anybody with you because like really who cares? But like your companions in this game, there that you can really interact with them. They have witty dialogue. There's actually funny parts in the game too. So they did a really good job writing it and implementing all the things they wanted to do. So it was hands down really good.
Yeah, I'm excited for. Have you been streaming anything from it, Rick? Or
no, haven't. I don't have all the equipment I want.
I know you're building your machine.
Yeah, to do a really good stream yet, and I don't want to put out a subpar one because if I want to have a name out there, I want it to be good. You know.
Yeah. I've seen your video card on sale for $250.
No, you didn't. You're a liar. You're a goddamn liar. Because I just saw it on sale for $550.
I'm like, when I see that bitch again, and I'm building my ship, I get 2 of them and sync them up.
Oh my god.
I hate
so, all right, well, let's just like blow through this part here, because Drew, just to bring you up to speed, we do a segment every week called News of the Week, and we're just going to kind of blow through that real quick, just so we can actually get to some of our main topics, or should I say complaints. Yeah, for this week's News of the Week.
News. No, news. Not news, but news.
Yeah, news.
Damn it, Rick, you screw this up every damn week.
There's so much pressure every time.
Do you want to go second?
Who, me?
Yeah, you want to go second? You want to save Saul for last?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, maybe there won't be so much pressure on you.
Yeah.
All right.
He always throws me off.
Yeah. All right, well, why don't you go first in your news this week, sir?
Me?
Yes.
Okay. It's kind of slow couple of weeks, just because all the game releases. So really all the news that's come out is reviews. However, there's been a couple things. The minimum recommended requirements for Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes for the PC came out, and it's pretty hefty.
Paint Ground Zeroes.
Yeah, Ground Zeroes. I imagine Phantom Pain will be the same requirements, considering it's just the same game. The processor is Sandy Bridge i5 2.7 or above, 8 gigs of RAM, GTX 760 video card or above, and only supports version 11 DirectX. So if you have an older card, you're out of luck again. The Alienware Alpha came out, the first of the Steam boxes you can buy for your living room PC gaming. It's got pretty good reviews. It's starting at $550 for the base model. It's benchmarking an average of 55 to 60 FPS on most modern games on medium set graphics. You can get the i7 version, which is, of course, more powerful, but you're going to spend about $800 and $900 on it. So it's got pretty positive reviews so far. It's got its own custom UI on it that's based on Linux, like most UIs are based on anyway, except for
Android is based on Linux too.
But it looks pretty.
You can get the new Android app for it. No, just kidding. Sorry,
it looks pretty sleek and looks pretty nice. Just hopefully the other ones that are coming out will be competitive with it, and we'll have a little easier market share. AMD's NVIDIA to G-Sync is coming out on Samsung monitors early next year in 2015. If you don't know what G-Sync is, it's a chip that you put in your monitor that pairs directly with your video card, so you don't get frame stuttering at all. So if your video card starts slowing down on frame rates, it doesn't stutter as your monitor catches up. It automatically syncs to it. Nice. So it's really harder to see fluctuation and frame drops. There's no need for VSync with it because the refresh rate is off the charts as it's coming directly from your card. And you don't get a lot of tearing and stuff like that. It pretty much gets rid of all those things. Like if you're moving,
I sync all the V's.
You're like,
I'm like, fuck the P's. I just want my V's.
Yeah. The perfect way to explain it is like if you move something quickly across a monitor, you see it kind of catch up to itself. I mean, it's hard to notice, but you can definitely see it when it's not there.
Are you talking about screen tear or something different?
Yeah, like screen tearing. Like if you were playing, I don't know, Civilization or StarCraft, and you grab
screen tear the video game was Far Cry 3 on the Xbox 360. Screen tear the video game. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, this gets rid of it, but this is NVIDIA's answer, and they actually call it FreeSync. So. Or this is AMD's answer to NVIDIA's. And there's a Steam sale going on right now from the 26th to the 2nd. A couple of the main things that are on there. Lords of the Fallen, which is a pretty new release, is for $30. The new Civilization Beyond Earth is $35. And you can get The Evil Within for $20.
Sweet.
And one more thing, Civilization Beyond Earth came out on Mac today. So if you have Mac or Linux, you can download Civ 5.
And you probably don't listen to this show anyways.
I was like, thank God, right? Man, I know we've all been waiting.
There you go. It's an amazing
Mac
game.
Gamers.
But there you go. That's the updates.
Rick went like ultra technical this week.
Hey,
that was nice.
People
are informed. People are very informed.
A lot of T's and X's. And
there was a lot of like math
stuff
going on.
Yeah.
Some algebra.
Some Pythagorean theorems and shit like that.
Yeah. Hey, Saul, why don't you give us your news, buddy?
Do
you have any?
In the words of the old guy on Altered Beast, Sledgehammer and Activision said, "Rise from your graves in January because we have the dubbed Exo Zombies." Yeah, we got that. Unfortunately, it's Xbox One exclusive for the first month, but then you can get it on PS4, I think, in February.
That's not too bad.
But that's not that bad, and
Exo
I play on
zombies?
Xbox One anyway. Oh, yeah. They're basically,
Xbox
I guess,
zombies,
and they have the exosuits, and Kevin Spacey maybe will be a zombie. I don't know. That's all I know about it. I haven't played the game. Something about dogs. Whatever.
Always dogs.
Wii U, I don't see anything on the page because that's where I steal my news, and I see nothing there.
Wait. You steal the Wii U news from our own
page? Is on the Wii U now, I think.
Yeah, but it runs like shit, I heard. I heard it runs
like
it does on
I heard that too. That's really funny.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I got nothing.
That's all right. It's a slow week, and so mine is also slow stuff. So Deals with Gold featuring coming up here December. I can't talk right now for some reason. Xbox One will get Worms Battleground.
What?
Looks cool.
Worms is fun. I'm kind of excited for this. Major Nelson said that and Phil Spencer said that we were going to be like really surprised by December's Games with Gold. So I'm not sure if that's it or what, but we'll see.
Dude, I used to play Worms at the Cape Coral Library. And Lemmings. They had Lemmings on the computer.
Did you just give the Cape Coral Library a shout out on the show?
Yeah, I did. Cape Coral Library. It was fucking...
That is crazy.
That was good shit.
So 360 is going to get SSX and Raven. Thief something or other. I should have probably wrote that down, because now I feel like a jack.
The New Thief? Is that what you're talking about?
No,
Oh, it's an expansion or something, or a standalone expansion.
Yeah, I'll get the right name for it, because I shouldn't probably even said that. But Xbox is also getting exclusive Star Wars skin for Minecraft, and Limbo is confirmed on the Xbox One, as some of us already know, because we got it for free. Because Microsoft is giving some early adopters some nifty prizes.
Nifty, huh?
Yeah. Do you like that?
Mm.
Do you have the Day One edition?
I have the Day One edition.
So you got the controller with the sticker, and you get that game?
You know what I got? I got an achievement.
Oh, that's right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I did get Limbo. I believe, Saul, you got Limbo as well.
Yeah.
And some other people are receiving, like, Gamer Picks, Steams.
So, speaking of free stuff, Gregway,
Nice.
Ubisoft also announced today that because their game is all borked, everyone who has Assassin's Creed Unity is getting DLC for free.
Yep.
Also, if you purchase the Season Pass, you're getting a free game, and I can't figure out what game it is.
Yeah, what would that be?
I can't. I'm looking around, and I keep seeing the headline of free game, and I'm like, what game?
Have they said it?
Free game selection is... Oh, okay. Silver Linings, the free game selection is pretty great, including Far Cry 4 and The Crew.
Whoa.
That's pretty serious.
I have a friend who's actually, he literally called me just before I got on with you guys, and he was like, hey, man, come to the store with me. I'm trying to figure out if I want a PS4 or an Xbox One. And I was like, well, if you want to play games with people, you should probably get this Xbox One. But I don't really know if he cares about that much. But if he gets Assassin's Creed Unity, the Assassin's Creed bundle, does he get Far Cry 4 for free? Because that lowers the cost of him getting the Xbox One. Ultimately, I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I wonder if it's did they say if it's before a specific, if you purchased it already?
Let me hit the.
Did you hear about this? It's kind of funny. Some guy put something on Twitter, just jokingly or asking about The Crew, like, hey, I wonder if there's going to be radio towers I have to climb to unlock new parts of the map. Just basically ragging on
there
Far.
are.
Yeah, and there is. And then Ubisoft responded to him. Yeah, there is. And he's like, are you serious?
I was listening to the Giant Bombcast, and they were like, that was something they actually really got into last week on the Giant Bombcast about how every single every single Far Cry game has towers now. Which is a format that they started with Assassin's Creed in 2007, and they're like, hey, man, it's been 7 years. Maybe we could stop doing this and do something new. Literally anything else.
Yep.
And he mentioned, somebody on the podcast made a joke yeah, I wonder what the crew's going to have. And he was like, funny you mention it. They have satellites that you drive up to, and it opens up the map for that area, and it functions the exact same way as a
Seriously,
tower.
why?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So, anyways, quickly, not to interrupt you, but it is the other game for the 360 is The Raven: Legacy of a Master Thief.
Oh, thank God! All right, good thing we got that.
I thought you were going to say, what is it, Raven
I
Legacy
figured,
of Cain or
I'm
something
going
like
to get that. I'm definitely going to download that.
I've got to please the people, So that's how it is. So we're going to segue, because this is perfect. We're talking about Ubisoft. Because now we're going to segue into shitty games. Shitty game launches.
Welcome to 2014.
Yep.
Right? Because we're kind of you guys were kind of ragging on Titanfall earlier. But honestly,
It ran
and in minimal issues.
The beta went better than most of games that launched in the last 2 weeks.
That's very true.
And more people probably played that beta than a lot of the games that sold in the last couple weeks.
So, anybody have any idea? I mean, we had this kind of question. We had a poll question on the Facebook group about this. What is the major malfunction here?
They said it's basically 4 different games with different networking, and they can't get it to work with all the different infrastructures.
Well, just Halo. The matchmaking on that, maybe it was a little too ambitious, but
yeah,
Halo's one of them. But I mean, let's talk about all the games. I mean, Watch Dogs. I guess we could just throw in Ubisoft in general, the whole company.
Yeah,
we talked a little bit about this last weekend. on R8ed M pertaining to Assassin's Creed specifically, and I feel like it's a problem that could kind of translate to a lot of these games. You're making your games too ambitious, like we said a second ago, and they're making their games require too much in too short amount of time with not enough resources. And that sounds ludicrous when you have the size of budgets going into some of these games, but the budgets don't just cover the development costs. They cover, pay and marketing and paying for infrastructure of networking and stuff like that. It doesn't all just go into making a polished product. And so when you do it in such a short amount of time with such a massive project, you're going to get, just a buggy mess, which is Assassin's Creed Unity.
It feels like Ubisoft is just putting out betas for people to test play for like 2 months, and then they'll update your game with a bunch of downloads to make it actually run correctly. Which is a terrible business model. You don't buy a car that's missing a steering wheel and just drive it around for a month.
Yeah,
I think. Sorry, go ahead, please.
No, I was just going to say, like my opinion on like Drew, you had a good point, and what it comes down to, honestly, for me, is publishers and money, and we aren't, as a community, we're not what we used to be as far as gamers go. Where a game that would come out that was buggy or broken before, we maybe didn't notice, or we just kind of played it off like, okay, no big deal, that's the way it's supposed to be. We know about shit now. Like, we're way more technical savvy. We know exactly what we're looking at. I mean, just this generation.
It's easier to learn about these things, too.
Yeah,
all
absolutely.
This information is just out there now.
It's out there. And look at this generation of consoles, Xbox and PlayStation mainly, and how we're just nitpicking every little pixel, because we know what we're talking about, we know what we're looking for, and then you throw that in, so you have your expectation. Then you throw that in with like a deadline and money, where the publisher's like, this needs to be out this time, this quarter, get this shit done. And I mean, Rick, you posted something. You actually texted something about a former Ubisoft employee that really kind of let the cat out of the bag about some of the conditions.
Yeah, he was doing an interview. I didn't really want to put fire onto the flame on our page because I felt like I was just bashing Ubisoft constantly for a couple of days, and then this guy did an interview. And he used to be a developer for him back in like.
Wasn't Patrice Tesselaar, was it?
I don't remember his name, but he basically said that if you're playing that, like the CEO of the company basically said, if you're playing a Ubisoft game on PC, you stole it, and that they don't care about you. That's basically, and like the summed up.
Yeah,
too long didn't read it. He was just like, we don't care about PC gamers.
You're probably a pirate.
They steal our games anyway. Whatever.
Wow, that's quite a translation. There was a guy who came out and tweeted, there are a lot of people complaining about this one specific issue. If you have this one specific issue with your copy of the game, guess what? That means it's pirated. He was literally only addressing one specific.
This is
no,
way
this is
before
a
that.
One. This one said
okay,
like 90% of like any PC gamer is using pirated anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just
this wasn't a tweet towards the what they have the unlocked field of view on Far Cry 4 or something. That was the thing that.
People were having trouble with FOVs.
Yeah, this was on Assassin's Creed. This was a month before that, and he did a Reddit AMA, and he just basically told a story about a meeting that they had between like all the developers and the head of the company, and the guy was like, "Why are we releasing such shit games on PC?" And the guy was like, "Because we don't care. Because we don't care about PC."
From a business standpoint, from a business standpoint, PC gaming on PC, especially if you're talking about from Uplay, is a very small percentage of people. And so I think they're like, hey, from a business standpoint, you could look at it as them saying like, we have enough problems right now. We don't even have time or resources to deal with the fact that we have a terrible PC port system. Like, we got to put out all the fires on the console games that we sell to millions and millions and millions of people. But yeah, that's a crappy stance to have, and I don't think that's what's happening here. I don't think it's like all the evil greedy publisher situation. I think it's just the the business cycle and the development cycle that has become the norm for most big publishers and gamers and developers.
Everybody wants to be Call of Duty.
So when you're Rockstar and when you're Blizzard and when you're Valve, you can take as long as you want. But when you are a slave to a company that requires a license or a brand to have a presence every year, that's different.
Yeah.
And so, and then because of that, because those games come out more frequently, we remember it more often. We think about it more often. We talk about it every year. The new Assassin's Creed is kind of okay compared to the last one. And I can remember that because I played the last one up until like 3 months ago because it just came out. So, you know, it's an issue with frequency. But you mentioned beta earlier. You said a lot of these games feel like betas.
Yeah.
I think earlier this year, everyone was kind of wondering like, hey, what's with the fact that every single game has a beta? And especially games that have, quote, betas that aren't even close to betas, because you can't have a beta of a video game weeks before it launches.
Right.
That's not an actual
not
beta.
a true beta.
That is not beta testing. At the beginning of the year, I thought it was a little ridiculous, and I thought it was kind of like just becoming a marketing thing. At the end of the year, I think a lot of people were wondering why we didn't get betas of a lot of games. I think with Master Chief Collection specifically, probably because the state that the Master Chief Collection is in wasn't even a final, like, decision until, like, it wasn't finally decided until, like, 9 months ago. So I don't think they had time to decide that they were going to have a beta or not. So it came in kind of hot that way. But if you have a game like Evolve, it's probably good that they push that game out. And that alpha, quote-unquote, big alpha, all that crap, really told them a lot about that game. And that's a perfect example of seeing...
It's slow as hell to fucking get into a game.
Well, you see the developers see that, and 2K is like, hey, let's not release this thing all crappy.
Yeah.
And that's great. So I think that is showing the direction that our industry is going in, and that's good. It's just, this is all new territory, like you said, Phil. You know, we're not used to games like this. This is all kind of getting weird for console gamers.
The one thing about the Ubisoft, and specifically, I don't want to throw in... I play a lot of Ubisoft games. In fact, I enjoy a lot of Ubisoft games. And I know Rick wants to enjoy them, except for the fact that he is a PC guy first, and they basically shit on PC because it's not where their main market is, so they kind of just say, yeah, we're going to try and port this. We're going to do it as shitty and quickly as possible.
Yeah, they were shipping the ports out to Eastern Europe to get done, though, because they don't care.
Right, and I understand, and I can understand that argument, and it's perfectly legit. But
is Rayman Origins or Legends or any of that stuff on PC? Are some of their other stuff on PC? How does the Splinter Cell port, Blacklist, did that do well on PC? Like, I wonder
played
if it's
Blacklist
certain
on
houses.
PC, actually.
Yeah, I got it for free. I never installed it.
See, you pirate.
And
No, I got it. No, I got it for free because I bought a video card, so it was a free game with a video card.
I remember that.
It ran great.
Now fuck that, you a pirate.
I'm a pirate.
Yarr.
Right.
Yeah,
but
the market's not that small. Like right now on Steam, there's 6.91 million people just logged into Steam right now.
No, it's not a small market.
Yeah,
and here's the thing. What I don't get, specifically with Assassin's Creed Unity, is they were on there talking about how they've been developing this thing for like 3 to 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah, they talked a lot about that game. There was like 45 trailers about it.
Yeah. And we've been developing specifically for next gen this whole time.
They didn't even know the specs.
Well, how the fuck is it still broken then?
Yeah.
Good
thing you put 900 people on the screen at the same time that you can't do shit with.
Not even 900. That was something that we talked about on R8ed M. Like, why would you, like, you're overshooting, you're shooting for the moon for no reason. You don't even have a freaking good landing pod. Like,
put some skin on those characters.
Why do you
There's
have
teeth and
so
hair.
many people? Like 6,000 people is totally unnecessary.
Exactly.
Nobody's going to count that.
You can't talk to any of them.
Count how many people you have online.
No, and they were saying that like the immediate 100 around you would have specific reactions, while the rest of the 1,000 character on screen will just be in a generic state or whatever.
Here's an idea: take away half of those people and then double the frame rate. That might work a little better.
And see, and that was our argument before
double the frame rate to 30.
That was the argument we had. Remember, Rick, when you were when they released the frame rate and the resolution, I was like, yeah, I know, I'll take that, when they're trying to do this 1,000 AI character on screen, and they didn't even fucking get that right.
Nope. I told you.
So you have neither.
I know.
So you have neither of the good things.
Yeah. I mean, I understand trying to do something different or trying to implement something different, but don't take away other important parts of your game just to implement something different. You know what I mean? You want to add on to, not take away and then substitute.
Yeah.
Not that this drives development at all, because I think most developers don't actually pay attention to this. I think the community managers have to, because that's your job. But here's the thing: what if that game was 720p, but it ran a solid 60 frames, and everything was it had the crazy AI, and there were no bugs, and it was the most solid Assassin's Creed
totally worth it.
ever. Everyone on the internet would be focusing on the fact that it wasn't 1080p. Mm-hmm. It's so funny. Like, people don't think about, like, what developers have to do to make the game run. Right now, the Halo 5 beta, as it runs right now, the Halo 5 beta is in 720p.
Yeah.
But it is at a lock 60 frames. And after playing the Master Chief Collection, if anybody's touched it, you know that now Halo feels completely different. And I can't even imagine playing Halo not at 60 frames at this point. Like, it blew my mind. It really made me a believer in the difference when it comes to a really precision, really solid set of shooter mechanics. Yeah. I mean, I would give anything for Destiny to be at 60 frames. Like, sure, drop it to 720. I don't give a, like, who cares?
Yeah.
So the thing is, if they had made that game super solid, that probably would have just spurred some other issues. But I think that developers should focus on making it a solid product before putting all the bells and whistles on it. Like, when you think about it, like, literally, if you had a car and you put bells and whistles on it, but the car had no wheels, what the hell are you doing?
Exactly.
Like, I'd rather have a stupid-ass car with some bells and whistles on it.
That's what I always kept bringing up.
Really well.
Was that the responsiveness of the game is by far the most important thing when it comes to a game like that. If you have to drop the resolution to 720, that's fine, as long as the game plays the way it's supposed to. But
then, as gamers, I think it's our job, as informed gamers, right? Like, the four of us are people that kind of know a little more than most gamers. It's our job to be responsible about seeing something that's like, hey, the new game is coming out on the PS4, and it's at 900p because whatever. Instead of collectively gasping and being like, how dare you, lazy developers, short us of our 180p or whatever. Well, when we see games, though, that have that stuff, we should, advocate, I guess, more for a solid product. If it does come out, and it is solid, but it is, like, an inferior resolution or an inferior frame rate or something like that, but it runs really well, like, we should applaud that more, I guess.
Yeah, they set a precedence back in E3 2 years ago, and they kept saying 1080p 60, 1080p 60, and then all these games started coming out, and they were 920, 30, and it kind of feels like you were lied to. You know what I mean? And that's where I think a lot of people were pissed off. I think
that's where marketing is something that people really need to listen to a little closer. When you say capable of 1080 60,
exactly.
That doesn't mean everything's going to play at 1080 60. Even your graphics card is not going to play every game that comes out next year at 1080 60.
Nope.
Not every game.
Can't play Crysis 3 or whatever the fuck we're at. I know it don't, because I seen the specs on that one thing, and it says you can't do it for under $2,000, $3,000.
Like, I'm looking, like, I know the specs aren't out on Batman yet, but Arkham City was a pusher at the time, and Arkham Knight looks insane. So I'm really curious how that's going to handle on the PS4 and the Xbox One. You know?
Yeah. But just to show how important it is, when 343 came out with when they were doing the Master Chief Collection, they announced it. And they said 1080-60, the crowd erupted. So that just shows that the community wants that. I mean, if you strive to get
the community definitely wants it, and you should try to give it to them. But you should, above all else, give them a solid product.
Exactly.
And I think the game itself is a solid product. It's now we're talking about networking issues, and that's a whole nother beast.
I completely agree with you. But
games are broken right now.
Yeah, I'll take 720-60 over 1080-30 any day.
I would tend to agree at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was one thing that we all laughed about when Titanfall was announced and actually came out. Yeah, me and Saul, we talked about that all the time, because people shit all over the fact
that it was 792, I think, in its final form or something like that.
Yeah.
And the game was very smooth, and that and it was good. It was a good looking game.
There was a lot going on in that game. There's a lot,
no lag.
AI.
No lag.
Yes.
No, and I mean, I know some people has screen tearing issues and stuff more on the PC than on the console, but I don't.
Then you're talking about optimization. I feel like no, that's different.
Yeah, and I don't have that eye, so like a lot of people will notice frame rate drops where I don't notice it. But Titanfall ran great. It looked great, and once you start playing a fast game like that, and you're running around, and you're into the game, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be looking at all those minute little details.
Yeah, if you're catching screen tearing, then your teammate's going to be like, "Dude, why are you looking at that and not
the
covering
fuck
me?
are you
Like,
staring
what are you doing?"
Yeah, exactly. So
play the objective.
I mean, it sucks because there's a lot of broken games. It seems like every big launch title has some sort of issue. Real quickly, I'd like to ask the question though. I know, Saul, I know you have to get going soon. If you got to duck out on us early, just let us know. That's fine. But we'll try and wrap up here soon. But I wanted to ask a question. So we're talking about this, the game's being broken. We're talking about P's and V's and res and all kinds.
What are we talking about? Maybe I won't leave.
Wait. Oh yeah. So you made me lose my train of thought with that. You know,
yourself.
That was I did.
You were asking us a question. You were going to pose a question.
I was going to pose the question. What do you look for before you actually go out there and spend your hard-earned money on a game? Whereas, maybe 3 to 5 years ago, you're like, oh, that game looks cool. And even though the internet was around and popular back then, there wasn't even that much information out. There wasn't, reveal trailers a year before the game came out. There wasn't 100 ads going all the time. So what do you guys look for now that you didn't really look for back then that you're going to go out and, hey, I'm going to spend $60 on this
YouTube,
game?
Facebook,
Okay.
and what my idiot friend.
Those are just...
So YouTube and Facebook integration in the new game that's coming out.
That's where I look. Like,
pronouns.
To buy something, I look to see what YouTube is saying, like the video footage and what they're saying is going to be on there, what everybody's saying about the game. And then when it comes out, people will be like on Facebook, "This game sucks. This game's awesome." That's what. So you're
saying that what you didn't like, what wasn't around back then and such a big thing, was all of the characters and the people that we look out towards now.
Like more word of mouth.
Yeah.
Like what's going on.
The Angry Joes and the IGN and all that stuff are out there like telling you like, "Hey, this game's broken."
Right.
Yeah.
So Saul, you're more on you're going to be looking for reviews. You're going to be looking for information.
But not from like IGN or anything like that. More like YouTube, people on Facebook, like normal people, not people that
power
think
to the players, bro.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Is this secretly a GameStop thing?
I'm done with GameStop.
I stole that from GameStop. I'll be like, fuck GameStop.
Yeah.
Players.
I'm on that GameStop hater tip.
So but that's okay. That's a good answer because maybe 3 to 5 years ago, that just people like us that do podcasts and things like that.
I don't know about 3 to 5 years ago, but why don't you think back to the beginning of the last generation when how many casualties have we had? Nintendo Power, official PlayStation Magazine, official Xbox Magazine's entire U.S. operations, EGM, 1UP, GamePro. And several other magazines who have all kind of fallen apart. Like we were getting magazines, and that was like it. That was all we could do. We had to go through the journalism, the legit games journalism, and read about E3 and read about this behind the closed doors
there was
packed
no
presentation. Blah blah blah, and there was no actual like what you have today with Konami live streaming like an hour of like straight direct footage of Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain being played to you years before it even releases. That didn't happen back then, so I can totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, and unfortunately Saul had to get going, so he's out, but we'll continue on this conversation.
All right. I'll throw something a little out there that's I think different. for me, what happened when I look for if there is a new game that's coming and I'm like vaguely aware of it, outside of the bullshit meter, which I think is kind of what Rick's talking about is. Or wait, did Rick say that, or did Saul say that? Did he leave? Did he say that and leave? What happened?
Yeah. Saul dropped the mic. Saul dropped the mic.
Saul basically just dropped the mic.
So what Saul was talking about, you all look the same to me, is like that's kind of the bullshit meter, right? That's us getting on the internet and talking to actual people because more regular Joes actually go play video games ahead of time than ever before. I think because developers and publishers value the opinion of the mommy gamer or whatever, like the idiot who doesn't get paid to do this for a living and just has a webcam and can go talk about it. Like we go look to them. But I think beyond that, when it comes to spending my hard-earned money, I'm unemployed, so I don't actually earn money right now. But when I was,
you did.
I actually have dwindled down to the point where if I'm buying a game, it's because it's a franchise or a developer that I'm like very like knowledgeable on. Like I've learned enough about Bungie to know that if they make a game, it's probably going to be pretty good. Yeah. It might not be everything that they promised it to be or whatever their marketing cooked up or whatever, but it's going to be a good game.
Yeah,
and it is.
I would say that's 100% like a perfect answer. To what I do because there's so many games that come out that I think, oh man, that looks like it could be a great concept for a game.
Could suck,
but it definitely could not be a good game at all. And
like for instance, look at Evolve as a great example of kind of proving that point. Like from the team that brought you Left 4 Dead. Oh, Left 4 Dead was pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let me check my bullshit meter now. And then you check your bullshit meter and people are like, it's a really good idea, but you kind of have to have the perfect circumstances for this game to work. You got to have the perfect team to communicate. You have to have people that know what they're doing. And then you also need to have a great network, apparently, which just doesn't happen at the moment with that game. And so that gives you all the information that you need to decide whether or not you actually want to purchase it or wait.
Yeah, because when I first saw, speaking specifically about Evolve, I mean, when I first saw that game, I was like, that is a really cool, neat concept. Mm-hmm. And then the more I thought about it, it's like, I could see myself loving the gameplay for a little while and then just being like, this is boring.
I think that's a good point. I think that's something that gamers should kind of spend more than 10 minutes thinking about is, does it look really cool? Cool. Are you really going to enjoy it? Or are you going to play it and be like, I didn't like it, that game sucks. Does the game actually suck, or is it just not your style?
It's not your thing, right.
And you bought it when you saw the hype behind it. You know what I mean? Like, there's things you got to be honest with yourself about, too, there.
Yeah, I mean, like, Rick, when you look to, I mean, you are like me, which you love a lot of the RPG, story-driven games. You're not a first-person shooter kind of guy.
No.
So, like when I'm looking to buy a game, but perfect example is Dragon Age and The Witcher. You know, I've got to look at that and say, okay, what is going to be worth my $60? What time? Yeah. If I'm going to spend 10 hours on it, it's not worth $60.
Yeah, and Drew nailed it when he said the history that a developer's put out is a big cause in what you're going to decide on. Like, I know BioWare puts out games I like because I've liked everything they put out, just like he's liked everything Bungie's put out. So he's just going to more blindly buy a game that Bungie will put out over a game that, I don't know, Activision will put out or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
That history will keep you into the market of anything that they put out. And some of it might suck. But they have such a history there with you that, you know, you at least have to give it a try.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like watching a movie with your favorite actor. You know, you're more likely to give it a chance if it's got.
Tom Hanks has been in some bad movies. But man,
but
he's been in
so
some good movies.
Yeah.
He has been in some really good movies.
Denzel, man. Name me a bad Denzel movie. You can't do it.
Oh God, no, I can. I totally could. I saw, what was that? It was like a spiritual successor to Man on Fire. It just came out. It was like it wasn't the Pacifier.
Oh yeah,
It was like some The Something.
Was it good?
That movie was not good.
What?
It was entertaining, but it wasn't a very good movie. I mean, it just wasn't.
Oh.
But Denzel was great in it.
Well, you know, I use the same argument about Tom Cruise, and everybody laughs me out of the room. But
Oh, come on, man! Risky
Tom-
Business.
Tom Cruise has
That
been in
movie's
like some
amazing.
great movies. He's
Cocktail,
insane.
Come on.
Yeah,
But
he's a
he's-
weird dude. But
Tom Cruise is basically Hideo Kojima. I understand what you're saying.
when you go back to like what we were just talking about, for me, it used to be relied heavily on those major gaming networks and their impressions on a game. But I mean, I don't really want to bring it up that much. But after this whole freaking Gamergate thing came out, and then all these veils got taken down, and you're realizing that a lot of these companies are being paid for positive reviews. It's kind of like, whoa, how the hell can I do this? How can
That's not new news, though.
I know it's not new news, but it's something that I never
But to
really.
the common man,
It's something that I didn't know about. I always suspected
It's definitely blown up a lot more than it has in the past.
Yeah, like Kotaku
that,
and shit like that. I used to love them. I don't go anywhere near the website.
I've always been relatively aware of Kotaku's kind of like, hey, this is cool, whatever, headlines.
Yeah, because they get paid for clicks.
They're almost transparent about it.
Yeah.
They're almost transparent about it. They're like, hey, here's some crazy shit, whatever. Yeah. They're kind of almost like flippant about, hey, here's some content, please look at it. We don't really care what you think of it. But I mean, like that stuff, it's for me, it's the same as developers and publishers and stuff like that. I don't necessarily take so much a grain of salt with the word IGN, but if Colin Moriarty is reviewing a game, my tastes and Colin Moriarty's tastes are very dissimilar. Mm-hmm. We're not really into the same thing. And then to even take that a step further, when you're talking about Gamergate, like Anthony, what's his name? Arthur Geese has some serious hang-ups on a lot of agendas that just do not matter to me at all. Like, I really liked Far Cry 3, except for all the misogyny in it. What? Who gives a shit?
Yeah, shit like that.
Don't care about that at all.
That don't bother me.
But he really likes Halo, and I know that, and he is a smart guy and he knows video games. So I think it's when you're talking about these avenues and these personalities and stuff like that, you can only lay so much of the like, oh, Kotaku sucks, or does Kotaku suck, or do these people suck? Mm-hmm. And that's when I start looking into, outside of those things, following personalities when they leave. Like Max Scoville was at Destructoid when it started, and then he went to Rev 3 Games, and then he left Rev 3 Games and went back to Destructoid. And I've followed him around. Not that he's so much a reviewer, but when he plays a game, he really tells you from just his own very personal view, not as like, hey, here at Destructoid, we think this game's pretty rad. He's like, I don't know, I was told to play this game, so I'm playing it here on Twitch, and it looks really cool, but it's just not my style. You know what I mean? And I take that with a lot more honesty. I guess I listen to that a lot more than I would just a back of the box quote of like, well, apparently GamePro like this.
And can't we do the same thing like you were speaking of earlier? Can't we do the same thing with reviewers that we do with developers? Like Saul mentioned this before, where he gets on YouTube and he knows what guys play the games that he likes, and when they review a game, he's going to take that more seriously than, say, someone from IGN that may not have the same taste that he does that reviews that same game.
Exactly.
So you can follow specific people, like you said, and you can line up your taste with them and be like, usually they're pretty much right on par. They've liked games I've liked. They've disliked games I've disliked. And then align yourself with that, the same as you do with a developer. And so you're going to listen to them before you maybe make a purchase. One thing I've learned this cycle more than any other, I think, is not to hurry up to be a day one person.
Definitely.
Like, let's slow the hype, and because I'm the type of person that I get excited, and I want to be one of the first people that does that. I wouldn't
warn against that, though. I would just warn against doing that as a casual consumer. You can't do both. You can't casually consume media, especially in any kind of like more technological or any kind of advanced technology, without being an informed person or having the expectations of an informed person. Like, you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to buy this new video technology. What is this, a Blu-ray player? This is the first time I've ever seen it. And you take it home and you're like, I got to do a firmware update? What does that even mean? Like, I don't know what any of this is. Blu-ray players are stupid. Like, that's the, like, ignorant model of the, you know, I bought this, I'm just waiting for it. I bought this Division game, and it says I gotta hook up to the internet with it. Now it's a MMORPG. I thought it was just gonna be me running around in New York City shooting shit. Yeah, like what the fuck? Like I saw on the trailer that Destiny is from the people that brought me Call of Duty. This is nothing like Call of Duty. I want my money back. Like, don't be an idiot. That's the bottom line of all of it. But I wouldn't warn against being an early adopter. I just warn against being an early adopter with the expectation as someone who is used to buying things that work right off the bat, because they usually don't.
And since it's being an early adopter is somewhat new to me, it's something that I've realized, like, okay, maybe I can pull back on my reins a little bit and use those avenues of information that I know are there now, and I'm well versed in them, so I can use those avenues and make a more informed decision for myself. Because like I was saying, I'm the type of person that gets really excited and I want to go ahead and I want to do that. You know, I bought the Master Chief Collection digitally and I bought Destiny digitally, and I knew that I was going to keep those games and hold them forever. So I had just no worries about that. Halo will work someday. Gonna, you know, just keep that.
Well, Dave, so we didn't talk about this in the news thing. Something that, all right, so we've talked about how betas, this is kind of a swerve on what you just brought up, but I just thought of it.
It's okay, there's no format here, Drew. You can just...
Broken. We've talked about how betas are kind of an answer to a lot of the problems and quote-unquote broken issues in games these days are network-related, and betas are really good at testing that, because you get user data that you just can't possibly simulate. Even if you're Ubisoft and you gave every single person in Ubisoft and ordered them to play this weekend, you won't get nearly as many people as you would to just open that up to, you know, consumers to try out, as long as you make it very obvious, like they did with Evolve, like, hey, this shit's broken, because you're here to help us test it. We're getting valuable data from you that you can't possibly understand, like what we're getting from you. We just appreciate you logging in and us so that we can get this data, because we can't simulate it at home. But then you're seeing a new trend, I think. I feel like this week we're starting to see what will probably be a trend for the upcoming year if games continue to have problems, and that is I guess we got to make good on this. And that's what Ubisoft is doing with the free DLC and free game for Assassin's Creed Unity. Bonnie Ross, the lead at 343, put out a blog entry yesterday saying basically, hey, we know we put out a lot of information, we put out a lot of patches, we're trying, and we are not happy. And obviously you're not happy. Well, we're not happy with how well it's gone. And so she has alluded to the fact that once things are solid, they're going to make good on, you know, the people who have purchased the game and have been trying to play it. And in the fact that you're continuing to try to play it, you're actually helping them because you're giving them more data. And she basically alluded to the fact that, you know, they're gonna kind of pay us back, kind of like the way Microsoft was like, hey, thanks for buying this box that was really kind of a box held together with string when it launched.
Right.
And here's your free Limbo, and people got a bunch of other stuff. Like, people got like $50 in credit. People got posters and all kinds of stuff. Like, people are getting a lot of crazy shit for day one purchase. Yeah. And that's becoming a trend now, I think.
And I think
developers like kind of making good.
And I think it needs to, because I think maybe it's just one of those things where developers need to realize, like, we can't do this. And despite whatever happens, whatever excuse they have or legitimate reason they have for this game being broken, they can't do that. And it's part of our responsibility as well as gamers to take
and be like, hey, we're not happy with this. This
and you know, like,
like Rory said the other day, where he was contemplating returning the Master Chief Collection.
It was, yeah.
And I remember specifically, Sean said, do it. You need to teach them a lesson. And I agree with that, because I'm not going to do it, because there's a lot of game there for $60 anyways without.
But if it was sitting on your shelf and you were not playing it and you were discouraged from playing it again at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would totally agree.
Why wouldn't I? Exactly. And that's the only way. It's the same argument when I'm a big sports fan and you have people that are like, okay, those guys are getting paid way too much to play a game and blah, 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 blah. Well, then stop going out and buying their jersey. Yeah. Don't do that. Stop going to the games. Stop buying $10 beers. The problem is we're not going to do that. We're just going to sit here and bitch and moan and complain about things, and if we don't change them, they're not going to change. So
I think there's a flip side to that too, and I've actually heard this mentioned recently. Us, the community, not the industry, but the people on Twitter and on Facebook and us podcasters and us quasi-informed regular Joes, we do a lot of bitching. We complain a lot. It's really easy to talk about how fucked up Red to Hell Retribution is. But you can only say so much about how solid the gameplay of Destiny is to your friends before I feel like it's up to you to tweet at a developer or comment on a board. I mean, you bought the game. You did give them your money, and that's great. But then you were really happy with what you got. Have you told them yet? Have you let them know that? Have you done the same thing that you're doing by saying, fuck you, I want to trade this game in, but in the opposite direction? And most people don't, because it's not what you would think to do.
Right.
When you're upset, you're screaming at your window, it's my money and I want it now.
Oh, God.
But where's the opposite of that?
Yeah.
And I think advocating that is a really cool idea to basically, remind yourselves that you have tools to enact change, but you can do it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
You can and giving people like award, like, all right, so Gone Home is a great example. Gone Home got just lauded. Everyone loved that game. They talked about how amazing it was, except for Sean. And when you tell a developer, hey, this game was amazing, that's a lot better than hey, your game sold a bunch. And, the interactive arts of the community college of so-and-so gave you a little statue.
Sure.
But it's the people who go out of their way to say, what's her name's character in The Last of Us, really touched me. And it was really, you did a really amazing job polishing all 4 of these amazing Halo games and putting them all together and letting me play them at, the drop of a hat. Mm-hmm. At back and forth, that's unfathomable, and they did it. And instead, all you can point at is the parts that don't work.
Right,
and you can still point at the parts that do work, and thank people for that.
Right, and it's unfortunate, but the internet has a voice, and it's loud and negative. It's
generally, yeah.
The internet's voice is from New Jersey. That's
not everybody's voice, though. That's the shitty part. That's the part of the internet that wants to voice the crappy part.
Yeah, that's what you're going to hear, and you're not going to hear the good things. And Rick, we've talked about it on the show before, where we want to have these debates and we want to get into it because that's just part of what we do. And we started this podcast and eventually joined R8ed M because we like to talk about this shit. Mm-hmm. And we don't want to kill our wives or families with this shit, so we want to just talk to each other.
Yeah, I hear you there, man. I mean, that's why I started doing any of this stuff, was I literally had no one else to talk to about it. So I just found other people.
and it's largely, it's both negative and positive, and it's we don't talk about the positive stuff enough, because with the positive stuff, look, we just do it. We just play the game. We don't have to sit here and talk about it all the time, but
here's my take on that, though, because if my silence, if I give you $60 for a game, my silence is positive. If I give you $60 for a game and it's broken, I'm gonna have a louder voice because I'm upset that I gave you money for a product that you promised me was gonna be good and it's not.
Yeah, and I agree with that on all levels, except for I think the way the industry has been this past, I don't want to say maybe a year.
I would say the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I would say right around the time the quote-unquote console wars were rebirthed. Like Console War 2, or I guess it would be Console War 3, because NES and SNES and all that stuff was a huge thing. And then the original PlayStation, original Xbox. I think around 360, PS3 time, people got tired of it. But when this came back out last year, well, I guess year before, whatever. When
let's just say March of last year or whatever.
Like, everyone lost their shit, and everybody just went down this weird road on the internet. And, a lot of it has to do with the availability of social media, and I think we've kind of hit a critical mass on things like Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff. And it's all just this resonating negativity, and that's the only reason why I'm saying, like, yeah, you should buy the game and like it, and that should be enough. But there is so much of people that are just like, this is so blah, blah, blah. Like, it's kind of nice to counteract that as well. I think a lot of the people that do, kind of poke holes in a lot of things are doing it to advocate for people who either don't know better or feel like they can deal with it. And a lot of people want to say, like, no, you shouldn't have to deal with this from a developer. But on the flip side of that, like, maybe I like this game the way it is, and somebody wants to poke holes in the fact that it's not 60 frames. Yeah, but it's really good.
Yeah.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
Like, Destiny's not at 60 frames, and some people would be like, that is the worst game ever, it's not 60 frames, it's terrible. And I'm like, what does that... No, it's a beautiful game. But I can
tell you, and then you can tell me, we played it the other night together. I wasn't very good, but that's okay.
Did your part, man.
We went from Halo, we were playing Halo, and we went back to Destiny, and honestly, we went from 60 to 30, and honestly, it didn't fucking hurt. Like,
it didn't, because the game is built
for
to
30,
work at 30. And Halo is built to work at 30. And it works really well at 30. And then it magically works even better at 60, which is crazy.
Magically.
You can also look at the way developers handle these outcries too. Like, the way 343 did it is good. They've been very apologetic since day one. They're trying to fix it. They're trying to give you guys something special whenever they get everything back in line. But then you look at the flip side of how Ubisoft handled it, and they basically told people to fuck off after Assassin's Creed came out. And then all this negative flack came back on them, and they were like, all right, hold on. So now they're trying to get their trust back.
They started up a blog to annotate, like, all the different updates and stuff. And I think that's good, but I think that...
Isn't less more in that situation, though? Like,
And isn't a little too late?
Yeah.
Because even when they're trying to soothe people and trying to kind of tame that beast, we want to be like, no, you shut up and go work on the game. Like, don't talk to me at all. I'm just going to bitch
I felt like
in your
that's
ear.
how the first couple weeks of Master Chief Collection really were. They didn't do a lot of updates. They did updates saying, like, hey, this is coming. And then when it wasn't, they were like, hey, just kidding, this isn't coming. We're dealing with something. And they've been outgoing about, like, just giving you just the facts, ma'am. But for them to have finally acknowledged it is great. But it was a feeling of, like, okay, they're too busy working on this shit to fix it. Because they could, 343 could have easily launched this and been like, all right, we're working on Halo 5. Enjoy the thing that we gave you. Yeah. Like, they could have done that. I mean, like, sure, that might have been shitty to some people, but I think they're in every right to have made this package a really simple time killer for the year for you to get Halo 5. And instead, they're putting a lot of manpower and a lot of resources and a lot behind a game that they didn't even have to make in the first place.
No, and
they did it as a fan service, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, and that's the thing, is like as much as I am a Halo apologist, but you can't say anything. Like, it's just they're going to say, okay, here's the updates, this is what we're trying to do, and that's it. Like, I don't want tweets all day long talking about it. Like, just quiet, just tell me what I need to know. Say, okay, this is what we're trying to update this week, and that's it. Don't say anything else. Don't apologize anymore. Don't do any of that. Just tell me the facts and fix it. And the apology comes when I have a working game, and I'm like, awesome, thank you. You know what I mean?
See, that's what I was saying before. I think the apology is also going to come in the way of, like, hey, here's because in the Halo community, we've been wondering what the hell they're gonna do, and somebody mentioned Spartan Strike, which is the follow-up to Spartan Assault, and basically just giving that to everyone who has Master Chief Collection for free. And a lot of people could laugh and scoff and be like, "Oh, it takes a lot. I don't want that." But I mean, still, that's a free game. You get it for free. Now you don't even have to joke about like how bad it is because you didn't even pay for it.
Yeah.
So I think that would make sense, or like a longer Halo 5 beta specifically for the people who have Master Chief Collection, which already you get early access to that beta. So just, I guess, extending that period or something.
Yeah, I often thought too, like I've been thinking all day what it's going to be because I read that like Bonnie Ross, what she said, and I that's a good. Those are two good things that those are good ideas. But yeah, I know like on our show, Drew, like I know you've listened to some parts of the episodes, but we're like a goofy show.
Yes, I've listened to this show before.
We're a goofy show. Like we want to give you the news and we want to be informative, but at the same time, we like to keep it light and just keep it really like the common
Saul
man.
left, so I don't. Like, what do we do now?
We're serious now. Like Saul. Saul's the clown. No, but I mean, we like to just be that common man, and so me and Rick had talked about it before, and we just didn't want to have those negative shows where all we do is be like blah 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 blah.
I mean, there's enough of that out there. That's my take on it too. I know a lot of people want to, tear down the man and make sure that the consumer is, got a voice and blah, and I'm like, hey, that's cool, man, but I also want to just enjoy video games. That is 99% of why I'm here. Also to get girls. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. So I agree with that. I want to keep it positive. I want to keep it light, and I want to talk about the serious matters, but still talk about it from a perspective of like, hey, man, like, let's just fucking play video games.
Exactly. It's always
and then the negative person says,
"No, we can't play
video games. Are fucking broken.
The girls are too sexy. We gotta." Okay, cool.
Sexy girls in this game. No, but I wanted to say one last thing before we kind of jump to, because we're gonna do verses.
Yeah, please. No,
and we're gonna close.
We've dwelled on this quite a bit.
I'm just gonna say this one last thing, that I really want people out there, especially in our community, in our network, to and most of the people in our network are pretty damn good, but the negative voice is always going to be louder out there, guys. So, but don't be afraid to be that positive voice and stand up for it. If you like Assassin's Creed Unity, I mean, I have two friends that play it every day, and they say they're common gamers. They're not scouring the web for all this stuff. They like a game, they play it, and I mean, let's be honest, that's probably the majority of the people out there.
Oh, and yeah.
They sit there and they tell me, I don't even see the issues. I've seen maybe one or two glitches, and then I keep playing the game, and it's a good game. But if they were on the internet saying that, they'd be getting trashed. And just please don't be that guy. If somebody has something positive to say about something, that's his thing. Let him or her have that positive moment. If you don't like it, that's fine. Shut the hell up. And let that person say what they feel.
Yeah, if anyone's having fun.
What is it hurting?
Don't
like,
shit
what is
on
it hurting that I fucking love the Halo Master Chief Collection? Love that thing.
It's not hurting anything.
Does it hurt you that I love this thing? Like,
and I think that's a huge problem, is people are afraid to step out there because as soon as they do, it's like, oh, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, 30 frames and blah. Like, dude, look. You spent your money on it. If you enjoy it, that's all that fucking matters.
Yeah, and ignorance is bliss, right? Those people are enjoying it, and they don't see what the big deal is. Let them. Don't ruin it for them.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? You fucking are you like the epitome of someone who they had to create? The Germans had to create a word for taking pleasure at others, like downfall, Schadenfreude. You're the guy that you're the reason that word exists. Good job, buddy.
Rick, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just saying, if someone's having fun with something, don't shit on them because of it.
Yeah.
I shit on some stuff that I will never play because I know what it is, But if someone enjoys Assassin's Creed, let them have fun. I just don't enjoy the same game in a different setting. Remake.
And I'm not gonna for instance, Rick here has Destiny on PlayStation 4, and he's just, I don't know. You could tell, you could speak for yourself, but I just know it's not everything it is for everybody else for you.
Yeah, I came from a genre of playing games that are built like Destiny. I played Diablo 2 for hours upon hours, and it's the same thing. You just keep repeating the same missions, trying to get better gear, trying to get better stuff. But the story couldn't hold me there. I mean, I played the shit out of Destiny, don't get me wrong.
Right.
I played it for a solid 2 weeks every day, but after that I was just like, meh. And I don't like doing the Iron Banner stuff.
But yeah, and what I'm saying is, like, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, you're wrong because you don't like a game I like. And I think there's way too much of that going on. And we won't spend any more time on that because that's just been beaten to fucking death.
I applaud you for the idea of, it's up to us, that people who do have a mic and do have, a voice and do bring the words to people in any way that we can, whether that be on Twitch or YouTube or whatever, and just kind of remind people like, hey, you can do this differently. You could be different, or you could stand up and tell someone like, hey, why don't you sit down and shut up and just let this guy enjoy his game?
Absolutely. I mean, look at
let's go play Swords Only.
That's right. Rockets, dude.
And if anybody doesn't like it, they can get the fuck
out of here.
Yep.
Rockets on chill out. By the way. So, but I mean, if you look at our group page, our Facebook group, none of us here in this podcast, none of the hosts here in this podcast really, we're not Nintendo buffs. We're not Nintendo haters. We're just not Nintendo buffs. And the majority of our group are like Pokemon, 3DS, Smash Brothers, and you know what? They're gamers, man. That's what they like to play, and we're gonna let them flourish on our group if that's what it is. Like, no discrimination. If you like something I don't like, who cares? That's awesome. Teach me about it. You know what I mean?
And how to Dougie.
I would love to learn how. Do you know how to Dougie?
I don't. No, that died with him. That guy got killed in a drive-by. I'm not even making that up. The guy from that group got killed in a drive-by, and how to Dougie was probably killed with him.
Damn.
But I would
know.
agree. Yeah, we're never gonna find out. I would agree that it takes all kinds, and like I am unabashedly an Xbox guy. Mm-hmm. But if you are a person in this community that is interested in things other than what we primarily talk about, then speak up and be the point of contact for, if somebody new to the community or somebody in my community or in that I just meet on the street and I like turn them on to R8ed M or whatever, and they're like, I'm really into League of Legends. Well, that's cool because we have like 2 people. Yeah. That like League of Legends here, and so they would probably look for more like-minded and similar personality people that like the game that they like that most of the other people don't play. So Absolutely. There's always room for that stuff,
Absolutely. And I mean, I actually I banned someone on our page like right after I created it because he basically was telling people that if you like Call of Duty, you're not a gamer. And I'm I don't care if that's all they play. That's a game.
Yeah, that's not cool. Go watch VGS. Go watch VGHS.
Yeah.
That'll remind you that it takes all kinds. Everybody's a gamer.
Now that we have our equality speech out there, let's wrap this show up with a versus segment. Rick, I believe it is you're up, and Drew can win this, but
Jesus,
I don't think he can be back next week. So
he'll just be a step in for Saul, I guess.
Yeah. You have to do.
If I win, I'll hand mine off to Saul.
All right. First of all, I wanted to say how excited I am for the new Jurassic Park movie to come out. That is
yes,
it's pretty awesome. And it has nothing to do with my versus question, but I just wanted to say I just remembered.
How can you continue to have dinosaurs when they keep killing people?
Yeah, why would you reopen the fucking park? It doesn't make any... Anyway.
I'm super excited about this movie, but that question...
Okay now. Everything's fine.
Yeah. Well,
they fixed it.
And I'm also first to say, if they ever opened a dinosaur park, I would be there in a heartbeat. I'd go...
hell yeah.
No, dude, never.
What? Get out of here.
You learn from movies, Rick, and that is not a good idea.
Whatever. Anyway... the versus is, in the light of the holiday tomorrow, what is your favorite Thanksgiving, the favorite dish at Thanksgiving, besides turkey, because everyone has turkey, so I mean, that's fine. But
can this be dessert, too?
It could be dessert, yes. Anything that happens after the turkey is set on the table that you have to, dish out onto your plate.
How does versus work? I thought you pit two things against each other.
Okay, here's what we do.
More of a question, like,
yeah.
hey, what do you like?
Originally, I'll give you a brief history on versus. So, versus came up when we were drunk in the bar, and we used to be like, okay, so this versus this, and then we'd all discuss it.
Okay.
And this is how much women we used to get. So, then we would Goku versus Superman, and then we'd all talk about it. But how we do it on the podcast is he poses a question, we come up with answers to that question, and then Rick will deem a winner out of those answers. So we try and impress the
ladies.
Host.
Work for me. That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyone wants to go
you're
first?
You're the girl at the bar at this point.
Yes, and you have to buy me a drink.
Yeah, the person that overhears the conversation and
I might play dirty then.
You gotta play dirty. I mean, we've had some pretty good answers. I believe there was.
You go first, hoster man.
All right,
Mr. Hosty.
I'm gonna go probably very simple here, because can I combine two things?
Yeah.
Okay, so my favorite thing at Thanksgiving besides the turkey is the croissant rolls. What are they?
The Pillsbury croissants or whatever?
Pillsbury, the little croissant rolls.
Yeah.
With the mashed potatoes and gravy.
Like you dip it in and scoop it up?
Well, no. What I do is I cut them open, and then I put that stuff inside to make little mashed potato sandwiches.
Oh, so you make like a carb sandwich with gravy on it?
Yes.
Oh, nice. That sounds good.
Mashed potato sandwiches, butter. I gotta try that out.
Yeah.
And butter.
Yeah.
You put the butter inside the potatoes. You spread the potatoes inside the croissant, and then you pour some gravy in there. So it could be like a croissant taco too, whatever you want to do.
Croissanto?
Yes. Croissant. Yeah. How would you say that?
Croissanto.
Croissanto potato though. You're gonna get the potatoes in there.
Oh, whatever.
Croissant potato.
It's damn good. So I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm not gonna try and go lavish.
All right. All right, Drew, go ahead.
If I'm playing dirty, I'm just going to be like, the best dessert for Thanksgiving would be Jack and Coke.
It's pretty damn good answer.
If I want to be a little more legit, I think I'd say pumpkin pie, man. You cannot go wrong with pumpkin pie, especially during the Thanksgiving holiday season. So pumpkin pie with Jack and Coke. I was going to say eggnog, but I don't really do eggnog.
I don't do eggnog either,
man. I can't vouch for that
shit.
It's
like a really shitty milkshake.
Yeah.
It's not even frozen. It just sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a nog guy either.
Not either.
So Jack and Coke.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go with our special guest on this one. Just based on the fact that Jack and Cokes are awesome. And it's always cool to be the drunk. It's always cool to be half kicked in the ass at the table anyway.
Well, if you're doing Thanksgiving and no one's drunk, run out into the street and just find the next person and be like, "Are you drunk? Okay, good. All right, you need to join our Thanksgiving. No one's drunk there."
Just start knocking on doors. Hey,
please, someone start telling stories that we can all laugh.
Yeah, but
yes, exactly.
Pumpkin pie is OP though. I love pumpkin pie. You put Cool Whip on it, right?
Good. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
You
gotta have a Cool Whip. I do like your pick though, Phil. Sorry.
That sounds pretty good.
It does sound
good.
That out. I'm a big fan of mushing everything together, then scooping it up with some bread.
Can I stop this whole show for a second? Can I just talk about that image you just put up in the Facebook chat?
Oh, what?
I missed it.
You did. I will get it to you stat. Because it's probably the greatest thing I've ever seen.
It goes along with Jurassic Park.
Can you? Oh, we can't put this in the Facebook group because they don't take GIFs.
They don't do GIFs.
Well, people can click on the link out.
That's true.
Click on the URL of the GIF.
Yeah, we're gonna have to post that. But before we wrap the show up completely, guys, we had some questions.
Oh, cool.
That were asked. People actually participated in our little questionnaire for this week's show. So Jake Nickerson basically asks where there was an experience. Let's try and keep this a little short, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Jake.
Reading it. Was there an experience, game or otherwise, that shaped your gaming tastes or play style?
Absolutely.
Go with that, Mr. Guest. Answer.
There can be two really obvious ones for me. I have a lot of hallmarks growing up as a gamer, but the big one was obviously Halo. Like playing the first Halo when it was new on an Xbox. The first time I'd ever picked up an Xbox controller, I played Halo with some friends, and that completely just turned me from being like games are cool to oh my god, video games are now my life. I didn't realize it then, but that was the moment for me. And then after that, playing Morrowind and really understanding what an open world RPG could be like and stuff. That's both of those games hugely inform my tastes.
Nice.
So, you just stole both my answers.
Oh fuck!
But for semi different reasons. I have to say that the first, because what shaped me as a gamer was obviously Mario and Duck Hunt on my first.
Oh, sure, yeah, me too.
But
yeah.
As a modern gamer, it really was. I would have to say the first Halo on the original Xbox that came with it, right?
No. It wasn't packed in. They did sell some with it packed in, but it wasn't originally. It's not like Mario where it was packed in with all the boxes.
Yeah, they had that one game that you did get with it though, the little party game.
Fusion Frenzy?
Yeah, Fusion Frenzy.
Oh, my God, I love that game.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, Halo was the first time that it set you in an open world like that. That did a better job than, say, Quake or, any of the games that came out before that.
Oh, yeah, those games just didn't even try.
Yeah. This one, they put a story with it, and it was interesting, and I was a big sci-fi guy, still pretty much am. So that hooked me. And then what hooked me into a more of an open world, I can be whatever I want, was Morrowind. And I brought it up on the last show. They have a mod where they redid Morrowind in the Skyrim engine, so you can play it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I've been trying to play around with lately on my computer. It's still not done.
Skywind?
Yeah,
Is it called Skywind?
Skywind.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the two. And the one that has shaped me to the person I am today over the last 4 or 5 years has been Mass Effect, which took what Halo did for me and just threw it over the top.
It mashed it together.
Yeah,
I'm kind of hoping that box that was talked about last year winds up being real, and we get a Mass Effect Master Chief collection next year.
Yeah. I think it will be.
And then we get Mass Effect 4 the following year.
Yeah.
I would buy that.
Yeah. I'd play them all again too.
I think we will. I've said it on the show many times that the game that basically brought me out of my youth and into adulthood as far as my gaming tastes were concerned was
coffee mod on GTA San Andreas.
Oh my god, how did you know? Was Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Huh, okay.
And
how old were you then?
27, right?
15? No. 15? You know what? Quickly, I'll find out when that actually came out, but I believe I got that for...
Ocarina might have been 98. I think Ocarina was 98.
That's actually later than I thought of, too. But it was that game, and I'll briefly describe why. 98. Actually, 4 days after I turned 17. So.
There you go.
I was 17, but that's perfect too. 'Cause basically it had those cool, it was Zelda, which I was used to. It was my boyhood favorite game. I loved playing Zelda on NES. And then it brought me into adulthood with the puzzles, the RPG elements. There was a nasty villain. I just liked everything about it. The semi-open worldness of it.
Yeah. For that time, it was definitely very open game.
Yeah, and I just fucking love that game, and it kind of brought me into man, I really dig these story-driven, big, open games where I can be who I want to be. Obviously, you're Link, and there's really no customization, but and it was like everybody else. Halo 1, Halo CE across the street. I used to watch my neighbor's house when they left, and he had an Xbox, and I was still on a lowly Dreamcast, and it was amazing. I remember...
For a second there, I pictured you saying, I used to watch my neighbors across the street,
And I was expecting you to be like, and when they leave for the day, I would sneak into their house and play Halo.
Pretty much.
Like, what?
Pretty much. It was the first time I picked it up. I was 3.5 hours late to work.
Oh shit!
From then on, we just discovered matchmaking, custom games and stuff, and it was just. I remember playing that game and telling you can see the individual blades of grass. You don't understand,
dude. You can hear the shells of the gun falling on the ground next to you.
Yeah, it was something I'd never experienced.
You can zoom in on the shotgun shells. And there's a hippopotamus on the bottom of them. Like, what?
I don't think people could fully grasp it until, they played it as well. And the AI was revolutionary, obviously, and it was amazing. So that would be my two. And we actually have another question from Mr. Jake, who seems to be the only one besides Drew. And that question will get addressed as well.
God damn it.
So, Dragon Age or Mass Effect?
Mass Effect, no, not even a question.
Yeah.
Not even close.
It's Mass Effect because of Dragon Age for me. Dragon Age is what introduced me to BioWare. And then,
no shit.
Yeah. I bought the first Mass Effect on Xbox 360, but I just hated the gameplay in it, so I only played it for like a half hour. Then I didn't replay it until after Mass Effect 2 was on sale for like $15 on Steam. And then I was like, wow, this is awesome. So I was late to the game.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm completely opposite. I'm Dragon Age all the way.
Nice. Did you ever play Jade Empire?
Yeah.
Did you ever play the Knights of the Old Republic?
I did play Jade Empire back when it came out on Xbox, but I didn't really understand that it was like, I didn't understand the lineage BioWare was setting up at that point.
I didn't either, actually.
I liked the game.
I liked it, but I was like, when people speak of it reverently, I'm like, no,
not really.
Are we talking about the same Jade Empire? Because it was a good game. Yeah. It wasn't like the best game ever.
Since then, I went back and I played Knights of the Old Republic, which is awesome. And I don't even like Star Wars, and I still like those games.
Blasphemy.
Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, by the way, the trailer's coming out on Friday online, so for the new movie.
Yeah, we don't even have time to talk about that. We're almost at 2 hours or something ridiculous.
Shit, sorry, man.
Oh, it's not your fault. You should hear our first episode. We went like
2.5 hours or something like that.
We went crazy. Yeah. We went crazy, dog.
Shit, cray. No wonder you give me oversized files.
No, usually we run like 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's what you said. And I told my friend, I was like, I'll call you about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So it's a good show. It's a good show.
Somebody else posed a question on here, Mr. Drew Freeman.
Oh God, we don't have to do this.
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
Oh, I don't know.
Rick, you cannot answer this if you don't want to. Because I feel like you're just going to be negative again.
No, that's
like,
cool.
My father's a prostitute.
No, it's really my daddy's the government right now because he's the one that's paying me.
There you go.
And what he does is he usually tries to do pretty well, but he ends up fucking up a lot. But his heart.
Aren't you a dad?
I am.
His heart's in the right place, but his brain's up his ass. So but he means well.
I feel that way on many occasions, and I only have a 2-year-old, so he can't exactly tell me that yet. But he looks at me with those eyes.
Like, really?
You moron.
Fucking up royal.
Yep. My dad is, I'm a junior, so he has the same name, and he's a pretty cool guy, and he's an auto body man. He fixes cars.
He can fix my car.
Yeah, there's no great stories there. Rick knows him. You've met him a few times. He's very loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're from New England, so
for
he's
not being the
loud.
tallest guy in the world, he has a very large footprint, I guess you could say.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one.
There you go.
Large footprint. So, you can answer your own question, Drew, but you don't have to.
My dad's passed away. My dad was a Wichita lineman, and if anyone's familiar with Conway Twitty, I believe it was Conway Twitty, there's a famous country song, old, like 20s or 30s, maybe it's not that old, but song called Wichita Lineman, and that was my dad. If you listen to that song, that is basically was my dad. He was out there fixing the power, bringing people electricity out in the middle of nowhere
that
in
shit is
in
dangerous.
western Kansas. Oh God, yeah. That's not how he passed away. He didn't like get electrocuted or anything stupid. But yeah, he's a good old boy, like the definition of a good old boy. And just the reddest of necks out in Kansas.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. We'll play some country music later for him. Because I like it. So awesome. Well, that wraps up the 20th episode of Gaming on Thrones. I really appreciate you hanging out with us, Drew, and being a part of it.
Yeah, I appreciate you keeping me on for so damn long. This is a long show. I appreciate you.
We got going, man. We just didn't stop.
I get chatty. Yeah, I talk a lot.
That's okay.
I should make podcasts or something.
That's okay. We can play Destiny later.
Yes.
Halo,
me and Alex are actually on right now.
Okay.
I wanted to say
congratulations.
I wanted to say congratulations, everybody, for 20 episodes. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
It's been fun. It's been a trial and error process, and we're still learning. But
and I'll say it here on your show, I'm still working on getting you on iTunes. I swear it's going to happen. Maybe it'll be a Christmas miracle. I don't know.
Just like in The Simpsons.
Oh.
That's right. Yeah. They got their show on iTunes.
Well, when Lisa's watching the show and they're like, "Is this the part where the Christmas miracle happens?" Because Homer only makes $13. $13. And he buys the kids dog toys. That's a good show.
Well, I will get you guys dog toys and on iTunes.
That's awesome, man. We appreciate all that you've done.
Who's your
for
daddy
us.
now?
and we're happy to be a part of the network, and hopefully Rick and Saul will join us a little bit more on some of the things that we do, just so they can get to know everybody. And
yeah, I hope so. You know, R8ed M for podcast technically has a Steam community also. So I mean, I don't know how active it is, but
so do we.
A Steam group or a Steam community or whatever. So, you know, I want more of the communities and more of the people, the listeners and the hosts and stuff to interact more. So
yeah,
whatever we can do to pull people together, that'd be great.
Well, we're trying to do that, and I'd hope for our listeners, all 5 of them, if they wanna.
We know you're there.
We put links all the time. You know, we want to get everybody melded together and just make this one big happy family with the groups, and that's just going to make it easier with the diversity, like we were talking about earlier. I mean, you're going to find someone that you never thought you would get along with, and they're going to have interests that you have as well. So. It's going to be a good time, and I look forward to growing the network and becoming more awesome than we already are.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, well, I wanted to say Happy Thanksgiving to everyone here and all the listeners out there. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Enjoy your whiskey and Cokes and your
pumpkin pie.
How do you say that the taco? What did you the croissant-co?
Croissant-co. Yeah, croissant-co.
Enjoy your croissant-cos now that you guys all these famous ideas. Don't you dare patent anything or I'll kill you.
Yeah, we'll beat your ass.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, remember to game on, and you guys have a great week, and happy Thanksgiving.
Take it easy, guys.
Thanksgiving.